So it is my deep pleasure and honor to bring to the podium our Mayor Anisse Parker.
Last year, I was invited to pick my favorite poem and start off the series. I did. I guess I surprised everybody after I got done by saying that it was one of mine. And I'm going to do that again. And this is called Sax. Sax with an A, which everybody understands. Sax. In a resale shop, just browsing. Then that smell. Funny how a scent transports you at a level conscious thought can't touch. I played the saxophone, or tried. Coaxed tortured bleats and flats and limping melodies. Practiced painfully. I held the instrument long after I jilted the muse. I flipped the clamshell case apart and stroked the gleaming curves and breathed the scent of porcelains. Was it worth the time? Reading music was the only lasting gift. Until tonight, until that smell. Thank you.
Jeremiah Payne, the Fluent one, is a graduate of Purdue A&M University and has been writing and performing poetry since 2007. He's a member of the Houston VIP Slam team and a youth mentor with Metaphor Houston. Please welcome the Fluent one.
Good afternoon. So as was mentioned, I'm a member of the Houston VIP Slam team, which competes with around 75 other cities from across the country each year in a week-long festival of poetry. And there's not competitions, there's themed open mics, reading series, ciphers going on at the hotels till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and usually you will leave hearing around 200 to 300 poems. It is a great experience. I have 2 members of that team with me, and I also have a member of the Metaphor Houston Slam team, which competes at a national competition known as Brave New Voices, where they get to experience the same thing, but it is geared for students aged 13 to 19. And they have 55 teams from across the country, sometimes coming from Guam, from Leeds, England, and it is a beautiful experience. With that, I'd like to share with you 2 poems for this rotation that were written for other people. The first one is a poem of inspiration, and the second one is one of tragedy. This is entitled Tears in the Breeze. There is beauty in confidence, strength in determination. Let peace subsume the quivering palpitations troubling your spirit. Awake to the love that surrounds you. Do not brush away the tear in your cheek. Revel in its travel. Marvel the wonder, compelling physical manifestation of emotion. Pain will come, but so will joy. Both born from the same esoteric root, embrace the touch of an angel, sent to set your shoulders straight. The burden you bear is not done alone. Align your back in defiance to defeat. When your day's pendulum has returned, the sun retreating to where it was born, sleep deeply without falter. Discover comfort in the silhouette of greatness that lies before you. A path that will be troubled but traversable. O angel of iridescent glory, you are born from love, and the worries of your heart are destined to pass. Okay, the second one, when I joined the Houston VIP team for the first time a few years ago, one of the prompts that was given to me by one of my close friends, Ms. Deep Mutan, It was regarding a story that she found on CNN. There were 4 Army recruiters in Houston at the same brigade that had all committed suicide within a 6-month time period. Nationwide, there had been 17 Army recruiters inside of a year that committed suicide because of the stress. The Army actually stopped recruitment for a moment so they could reevaluate the practice. After reading some of the story, I particularly connected with one of the young men from Houston, and I wrote this for him. Death toll updates trigger thoughts emerging from the river Lee. Messages delivered from a corpse-littered prairie somewhere. Over the desert sand dune, I found twisted metal ripped into beautiful shapes. Bodies folded into origami. Charred bones crunching beneath feet. Throat holding back gag reflexes from barbecued meat, not beef, but teenage children. The results of car bomb detonations. I wish this was a metaphor detailing how explosive their imaginations are, but that's what chili and ghost peppers are for in this reality. Amputees tell me they still grasp for Casper limbs. I wonder if I lost my pen, would I still feel it? Begging to extend its life through words etched in someone else's heart, like the one that I used to have that was large, golden, full of love. I traded mine for a medallion bronze star, running with desert comrades in Iraq, carrying their slumped bodies over my shoulders, stinging from a vengeful sun, legs moving fast, slap, shrapnel, slow motion, bullets fly faster, heart still hoping that if I close my eyes, squeeze the hours into this new desk job, dream butter pecan sweet, I won't have to tell these young vessels of hope lies like they won't have to watch bodies lie around collecting dust like faded pictures. Antidepressants will keep them sane. This war is almost over. Retirement is great. We'll even pay your way to college. Take the sum of this knowledge, knowing that if you should return injured, we shall hoist you upon John Wayne's shoulders, the iridescent mantle of heroes. This country loves its heroes, treats them like heroes. That's why I work for 60 hours weekly as desk marketing agent. He promised to polish my bronze star back to my golden heart if I would just bring him 2 a month, but it feels like 2 a day. My CEO tells me that my friends have been blown away because I failed to recruit enough reserves to watch their back while running on my own. Caffeine addictions keep my fingers twitching and medications don't seem to work. I may have survived this war, but my humanity is dead. I can no longer bear the stump rock guilt, the artillery-pierced shame of having saved 2 men, now having to send 2 men with innocent smiles to their graves while presidents mark their passage as necessary for better days. The sun will never set on the empire of Arlington's fallen ghost, so I let lead-laden ammunition shed solemn, silent tears. There is no room left for us tarnished heroes. Squeeze side on trigger, hand once clenched. Let's go. Okay, for the second set, I thought it'd be fun to do 2 aspects of romance. One being the ignorant man who doesn't understand the full impact of the feelings that are being expressed, which I learned when I was first dating another writer. She likes flowers. I bought her roses. Narrowing choices between ravishing passion stained red and infant innocence pure white. We met under moonlight romance, cricket choirs chirping, the sun setting softly, bidding souls unite immortal. She bought me a polished smooth stone, sparkling brighter than the jewels in skies, not as much as her eyes. This is my heart, she said. At least as much of it as I can give to you. I climbed heaven's stairway, snuck behind Peter's back, coerced sunlit seraphim let down their guards, 6 wings surrounding these ventricles pounding, removed radiant rubies from their silent mouth. Now, with a jewel in my hand, and Flora in hers, I never knew a bouquet could be so trivial. I removed envy-colored thorns, fingers bleeding as she grasped them. Squeezing pain becomes holding pleasure. Tears aborted, hope killed while unborn. Roses for a stone, bittersweet love left dormant and alone. For the second poem, I read a portion of it on Tuesday with Claire, and so she mentioned there was a particular line that she liked, so I thought I would allow you to hear the full poem, not edited for radio. The title of this is Sun Tzu. For those who are familiar, Sun Tzu, or who are not familiar, Sun Tzu is an ancient work that detailed how to conduct battle and war, but it really delved into the psychology of it, not just, this is how you hold a sword, but how do you intimidate the other person? And it's applied whether in business, whether in military, and it's just continually used to this day as almost a guidebook for how do you interact. We practice the art of love as it was written by Sun Tzu. If men are logical beings that make illogical decisions, then women are rivers of emotion that crash at the deltas of forgiving oceans, and we set sail against your uncharted waters, battling the bellowing blast of tropical tempests. The wooden planks of our ships are the mote in a hurricane's eye. Whether with navies or with legions, we are always loyal to our honor, defending our pain, justifying our torment, justifying that the time invested into this relationship is not a sacrifice, abandoned on an altar, bathed in flies and scorn from neglect. Or have you forgotten that every barbed lash on the tongue stings with the desire for warmth, for blood, for purpose beyond the shallow demand to be loved by the one that hurts you? And I get it. The dichotomy between pain and pleasure, I get that it is easier to give up and say that I don't care than for you to sift through tea leaves for divination of reason. So we sip from Lipton brewed peace trees while eddies of rage course through the rivers of our bodies. On the shallow surface, my face is a gentle smile, but we both know there are not enough preservatives to last this ceasefire until its expiration date. Arguments will again be fought from nuclear silos, and I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of battles of mutually assured destruction. The only winning move is not to play. My attempted withdrawal draws your disdain, and you pursue, you wounded huntress, princess of fury. I've never called into question the divinity of womanhood. Let me escape. If peace is an unattainable dream, allow me pause for rest. It's uncanny how closed eyelids make the best reflectors of truth. And I want to be honest about how I feel, but honesty hurts, so I stay silent, absorbing your wrath, enduring your judgments, pretending that my feelings are statues adorned with age and withered with time. You will mistakenly interpret the cold touch of marble, the silent whisper of stone, to mean that I don't care, when there is a submerged heart whose every beat further erodes the cracked blemishes of a sculptor's work. An apology is an injured butterfly resting on my lips. If you would but take the time to listen to the rustling of its wings, this ornate ornament perched on my mouth, can you nurture the nature from my artificiality? I'm tired of this argument. But when bare flesh continues to bear arms against each other, perhaps we should clothe ourselves in humble resolve that some wars will never be civil. There will not be enough soldiers left to become casualties if you and I continue.